What is good, everybody? Lee Sanders here, 411 Mania columnist and reporter, and you're checking out a new RCWR show. It is so great to be back here talking about WOW Women of Wrestling. It has been long overdue since I've been able to talk about this promotion on a regular basis. Now, we know about the news that's come about recently where they've acquired the services of AJ Mendez Brooks, AJ Lee for you WWE fans. I can't wait to see what she's going to be able to do as she's going to be working behind the scenes. She's also going to be doing some stuff in front of the camera. We know that Tessa Blanchard is playing a very pivotal role as well, having a really good, strong hand. As really not, I mean, she's wearing a few different hats for WOW Women of Wrestling, besides being a trainer, being a talent recruiter, if you will, scouting and all that good stuff. But I mean, she's wearing many hats over there for WOW Women of Wrestling. And they got this great big new TV deal that came about as they're now partnered up with Viacom. And we have seen the fruits of this partnership really blossom big time. And I mean in a huge, huge way, because as opposed to what we were seeing on Access TV, I mean, it is just the leaps and bounds of improvement that WOW has been able to make since its days on Access TV. Phenomenal. Now you can access the entire season that was on Access TV on the CW app. You don't even need to log into that. You could just download the CW app for your respective device, or go online, go on the desktop, go on the site itself, and you can pretty much watch all the episodes of WOW Women of Wrestling that way. You can also watch Women of Wrestling on Pluto TV. You can pretty much do the same spiel like the CW app, okay? So I think it's badass the way that they got this set up right now, as fans are able to whet their appetites, get themselves ready for the new season of Women of Wrestling, which is going to be going down fall of this calendar year, 2022. So long overdue. So how about are we here? How did we get to this point where we are right now? I mean, because we're here for very good reason. I want to really make sure that we're setting the table properly before we really dive deep here. So, as some of you longtime listeners know, especially you fans of Women of Wrestling, I covered WOW on a weekly basis. I never missed covering an episode. So much so, I remember that the year that WOW was on Access TV, I remember me and the wifey, we had did a getaway for about, I think, a 3-4 day weekend out in PA, and we were at a ski resort. And that's how into WOW Women of Wrestling I was. That's how much of a fan I was of the promotion. I made sure that I took my laptop, I had my recording equipment, even had my WOW shirt. I made sure I had all of that so that I was able to cover that week's new episode on location. I didn't care about any other shows. I didn't care about if there was a pay-per-view, but I had to show that respect. I had to represent for WOW. So I faithfully covered every single episode that came about on Access TV myself, and for a good handful of episodes, Anthony Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Soup, and shout out to him. Me and him, and he can confirm, me and him, we've already been talking about, when this show comes back, we really need to do what we do best and collab again, covering the promotion. And he's already said that he's definitely down. So definitely look out for that fall of this calendar year. We had the opportunity to interview quite a few people from the promotion. We were able to sit down with Teal Piper, daughter of the WWE Hall of Famer legend, forgive me there, Roddy Piper. We also spoke with Selena Majors. We spoke with David McLean, owner of Women of Wrestling. Spoke to the man himself. And it was interesting because the conversation that I remember vividly when we were speaking with David McLean, he told us how, in regards to how they filmed what they filmed for Access TV, at the time when we were talking to him, he had told us that they pretty much had wrapped up the second half of that first season, and that basically we were going to be seeing it in a couple of months at that time. And we were just, oh, wow, okay, this is pretty badass. So we were going to be able to see within a couple of months how the Beast's reign as the WOW Women's Champion was doing and everything. We were also going to learn more about the Exiles. We were going to find out the fate of Princess Aussie and all of that, okay? So all we had to do was just wait about maybe 2 to 4 months, and then we would get the second half of those episodes. Because when we were talking with David McLean, Mr. McLean had mentioned how there was at least an additional 12 to 14 episodes that they had pretty much ready to go and everything. And as we all know, unfortunately, Access TV, the people behind Access TV, the Anthem Entertainment, they ultimately decided that they did not want to have Women of Wrestling on their network anymore, even though they were, WOW was pretty well into their deal, because they had a multi-year deal, and that pretty much got thrown out the window. So that was a huge monkey wrench. That was a significant blow. There's been a lot of speculation that's been put out there as far as why Access TV had ditched WOW. And that's something that we talked about repeatedly off and on. If that's something that maybe you want me to revisit again, let me know. I could maybe revisit that on the next episode, future episode or what have you, or give you links where you can check out in great detail, about all of those speculations, those rumors as far as what had went down. So this go round in regards to WOW, very interesting, because this was a case where when you first find out, okay, great, I can go on the CW, or I could go check out Pluto TV and I can see all the episodes of the first season of WOW. Okay, great. But WOW had dropped a bombshell on social media last week, which would have been the week of January 17th, where they made the announcement of, hey, not only are you going to be able to watch all the episodes on those two platforms, but you'll be able to see lost episodes that never aired. And you're going, wait, what? And normally when you hear something to that magnitude, you're thinking, okay, so basically we're going to get maybe 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes. Man, no, there are an additional full length. I mean, when I say full length, we're talking about, minus the commercials, we're talking about at least 50 minutes plus of an episode, each episode. We're talking about an additional 12, 13 episodes, give or take, that did not air. So we are seeing the continuation of the first season, basically, of WOW Women of Wrestling. So the way we're going to be doing this show for the next little bit, when we're here talking specifically about WOW Women of Wrestling, you guys will be able to access WOW recaps for the next 12, 13 weeks. I'm basically matching how many episodes of those lost episodes that's out there right now available to view. I'm pretty much going to be rolling them out once a week until we're pretty much done covering all the episodes. And they're always going to drop at the same time. We're always going to have them drop Wednesday at the same time that you're watching this premiere right now. Okay, so make a note of the time. And as long as you are connected to me on social media, the Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the RCWR Show, Soon as an episode is getting ready to drop live, you guys are going to get your notification, especially on the YouTube front, because that's where it's going to strike first. It's always going to hit on YouTube first. And then probably as we go a little bit deeper into the weekend is when I'll make the audio versions be available and everything. So I know it's a little bit long-winded, but I just had to get those formalities out the way to really get those that have been kind of, what's going on here? Trying to make sense out of, while we're here right now. Now you pretty much know. So on that note, officially welcome to your Wow Women of Wrestling reaction recap show, post show basically. So this would be season 1, episode 21. Let me just make sure I'm looking at this correctly here. Bear with me here. Yes. So this is season 1, episode 21. So we're picking up from the last episode where in the main event match, we saw Tessa Blanchard defending the WoW Women's Championship. She lost it to the Beast. So Beast is now our new women's champion. And y'all know how much I love Beast. I am a big freaking fan of hers. That girl is freaking money. She is freaking money, yo. I look at her. She reminds me so much, and I know this is going to match up to what I had said in the previous WoW recaps, but she reminds me so much of a great combination of Jazz meets Jacqueline meets, oh my God, Beth Phoenix. I mean, she's got a whole, meets China. She's got a whole lot of cool, badass things going on about her, man. And I am just freaking digging it. So we pretty much pick up where the last episode, which was pretty much the fall finale, if you will. Beast is introduced by David McLean. Beast comes in there and she grabs the microphone and she pretty much says it straight up how she came, she claimed, she conquered. She's the new WoW Women's Champion. She's the best. She's the Beast. Well, this had prompted former WoW Women's Champion Tessa Blanchard to come out. Tessa Blanchard is just fuming. I mean, steam just... Man, beat red. She is coming out there like a woman possessed. She is looking to cause some serious havoc. She feels what went down in her match with the Beast was a bunch of BS. Straight up BS. So she gives props to Beast, just a little bit. She gives her a little bit of rope. Not by much. But she gives her a little bit of rope and tells her, yeah, you talented. You all right. You great. But you ain't no born legend. You can't hold a candle to this. That's pretty much Tessa Blanchard's message to the Beast. You good, but you ain't that damn good. All right. And she tells her straight up that Beast, only reason why she was able to beat Tessa Blanchard for the championship and all was because Beast got lucky. And that her attorney agrees. Of course, we're talking about the greatest lawyer on the face of the earth, Sophia Lopez, the greatest lawyer in the world. I love her LA Law music theme, yo. It just, every time I hear that joint, it cracks me up big time. Because it really does. If you just close your eyes, first of all, hopefully you know about the show LA Law. If you're like me and you're a TV show junkie, you grew up on TV shows in the 80s particularly, hopefully you are, whether were born in the 80s or not, hopefully you're just a retro TV junkie and you've made your rounds at some point checking out LA Law. That theme song, I mean, my God, I remember how long and dramatic that theme song was back in the day. It seemed like that theme song you just going through all the credits and the music. It seemed as though you were just sitting through that for about 4 minutes, did it not? But every time I hear Sophia Lopez's entrance music, I just close my eyes and I can just picture the LA Law theme. I could just hear it and everything, you know? So I can't wait to see what becomes of the Sophia Lopez character, particularly in the fall and the storylines that she gets involved in. Me personally, I would love it if her character would go more in a Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman direction, especially as far as the clientele that she's working with and everything. I mean, we're already kind of seeing little traces of it right now, but I would just love for it to really borrow from a lot of elements there from Better Call Saul. What do you guys think? Let me know. But I think I might be on to something there, or if maybe we could introduce a new character that is pretty much maybe her apprentice, somebody that she takes under her wings, and maybe ultimately they rise in power and become a better lawyer than her or something along those lines. That would be pretty freaking badass. Of course, in a perfect world, I definitely would have Joseph Park Esquire involved in the WoW universe. In a perfect world, I think that would be a very interesting dynamic there between Sophia Lopez and Joseph Park Esquire. That would be badass. But anyway, so Sophia Lopez, she comes out and she says to Tessa Blanchard, yeah, I definitely agree, but Tessa, honey, mamacita, you didn't do a really good job at your end because you didn't read the fine print. And Tessa Blanchard, she's thinking that because of the arrangements that she made with Sophia Lopez, remember, there was basically Tessa Blanchard in a nutshell. She went to Sophia Lopez to try and figure out a way to keep her championship. And we saw this playing out from the previous episodes during the first season and all, or previous season, let's put it that way. But, cash arrangements and, Tessa was basically needing Sophia to scratch her back and, scratch her back in return and everything. So Tessa Blanchard was under the impression that, I guess when it's all said and done, it was kind of brilliant the way Tessa Blanchard was kind of thinking ahead here. Tessa Blanchard, I guess, assumed that in the event that something weird did happen where she would lose the championship, she would have a instant rematch because Sophia Lopez is her lawyer and all, and they would have it structured in such a way or whatever. But of course, you got to have a whole bunch of, it's not just a contract between Tessa Blanchard, Sophia Lopez, and, you also got to get David McClain to agree here, okay? So, but for whatever respective reason, Tessa Blanchard was under the impression that she had a instant rematch against the Beast for the championship. But Sophia Lopez told her straight up, nah, you didn't read the fine print. I actually have the power to choose, someone, because remember, Sophia Lopez, she represents many clients. So that fine print in that contract that Tessa Blanchard signed, basically, Sophia Lopez can choose anybody to be the number one contender to face the Beast. So Tessa Blanchard, she's going, oh, okay, all right, I missed that fine print. Apparently you got the final say, Lopez. All right, so I know it's me. What's up? And boy, did we get hit with a bombshell as Sophia Lopez revealed, no, it's not you. It's Serpentine, a.k.a. Thunder Rosa. Serpentine gets the title shot. So Serpentine came out, didn't say anything. She pretty much just came out. And at this point, you're going, okay, so we pretty much know who the Beast's first opponent is going to be as far as a title defense goes. Okay, cool. Next thing you know, we got Jungle Grrrl who comes out. Jungle Grrrl still trying to lay claim and try to win back the championship. So David McClain decides, okay, you know what? We just got to squash all of this. We got to solve this. Only way we're going to be able to take care of this is going to have to be Jungle Grrrl, Serpentine, and Tessa Blanchard in a triple threat match. Winner goes on to face the Beast for the championship on the very next episode of Women of Wrestling. And all hell broke out after that. Tessa tried to go for a cheap attack on Beast. Beast laid her ass out with a choke slam. And then she did a double spear on Jungle Grrrl and Serpentine. And that pretty much had set the tone for that main event match. We'll come back to that main event match. You know, I would stick with it. Well, I tell you what, because I really like the flow that we got that's going on here. Let's go ahead. Let's go with that main event match, okay? Let's go with that main event match. So that main event match, which closed out this episode 21 of WOW. Great triple threat match, by the way. I like how the match was set up as, you know, we see Tessa Blanchard and she realizes that, okay, she has made some serious enemies in Serpentine and Jungle Grrrl. You know, you just, particularly Jungle Grrrl, I mean, you just go back and think about the heated animosity that in the feud that those girls were having there for the championship and all that, how it pretty much had opened up, and you know how we got to where we are here at this particular moment that we're talking about. So she pretty much, being Tessa Blanchard, that is, on an island of her own, and she doesn't realize that she's in for a world of hurt because Serpentine and hard for me to keep track of these names, especially when I haven't been. It's been so long. Is that memory muscle? You gotta give me some time. You gotta give me a couple of weeks, and I will be as loose as humanly possible. But Serpentine and Jungle Grrrl, they ganged up on Tessa Blanchard. I laughed my ass off. I loved it. I love how they pretty much had Tessa tangled up on the ropes, and they pretty much were just chopping the hell out of her. Then at one point they were putting their long legs all up in her face and her throat. I mean, they were getting her good. Serpentine sticking her tongue out and, you know, doing a little Gene Simmons thing. I was just loving that. I was freaking badass. Great triple threat match. Now, Sophia Lopez was at ringside. She was on commentary. And at one point, she decided to excuse herself, where in the final moments of this match, she distracted the referee while somehow she managed to get a briefcase over to Tessa Blanchard while she was distracting the referee. Jungle Grrrl had got a really great opening, so she thought, where she pretty much nullified Serpentine. Thought she had maybe took out Tessa, but Tessa's doing her thing with the briefcase. Sophia's distracting the referee. Jungle Grrrl goes up to the top turnbuckle, and she's looking for that trademark, you know, body splash, that jungle splash and all. And Tessa Blanchard hits Jungle Grrrl with the briefcase from behind, and Jungle Grrrl just goes crashing down onto the canvas. And Tessa's thinking, okay, I'm good to go. Let me go reap in the rewards, get this victory, and I am good to go, baby. No, not so fast, because, you know, Tessa, it seemed, I played this back twice, but it kind of seemed like Tessa, one of her legs maybe kind of got a little bit tangled up. Not so much in a trip kind of way, but there was definitely a little bit of a delayed reaction as far as, okay, let me hurry up. I've hit her. Let me go in. Let me go do my thing. Because next thing you know, Serpentine just really came out of nowhere, got the roll up. Referee turns around. He's counting to one. He's counting to two. Tessa's trying her best to get in there, but boom, 3 count hits. Serpentine, aka Thunder Rosa, she is the new #1 contender. She will face the Beast for the WoW Women's Championship on the next episode of WoW, episode 22. So that is set. That should be a banger classic match. And it's so funny because I chuckle now when I look back on this alter ego, this alter in-ring persona of Thunder Rosa's, and I gotta tell you, I really love that persona because she really, and it's a good testament to Thunder Rosa as a performer overall, because when she wrestles as Serpentine, her arsenal, her in-ring arsenal is completely different from Thunder Rosa. Completely different. Anybody that has had an opportunity to watch enough episodes of WoW, and you've seen her in action, and then you've seen her as Thunder Rosa, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it really just, the dynamic, it really makes it that more interesting. And I love that she dedicates herself to really branching out and trying to make the character be as unique as possible and everything. And I tell you what, I really hope that when the new season comes about, I really hope that Thunder Rosa does get to work with David McLean and WoW again, because I would love to see a lot more of that character. I know she's definitely game, because at some point, I remember a couple of months back, she posted an image of herself as the character, as the Serpentine character, you know, saying something along the lines of, wouldn't it be cool to see this character again, or something along those lines. So I know she's definitely game. So that should be a fun main event match for next week's WoW. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Some other action noteworthy things that had came about from this episode of WoW. Princess Aussie. Remember when last we saw of her, she pretty much had fell into the spell of the voodoo doll Siren, and you know, we've seen her go on this mystical journey. Remember, this girl was pretty much nothing but of pure light. She had a really good heart, and it seems nowadays she's going down a very dark, twisted path here. And we see that the voodoo doll wants for Aussie to be solely dedicated, committed to the cause, wants for Aussie to give up on her sticks. You know, those sticks that Aussie would come out to, you know about the tribalism, representing of her people, the powers, the spirits that it possesses and all that. Siren wants for Aussie to be done with all of that. Siren wants to be the source for her courage, her power, not the sticks. So this was a very interesting test that Aussie, a very interesting position that Aussie was put in, and we sure enough would see just exactly where Aussie's allegiance lied and everything, because our first matchup for this episode, Fire, aka Kiera Hogan, and her boo Adrenaline, they were in action against Razor, Fury, and Mesmeriah, the Psycho Sisters. This was a match for the WoW Women's Tag Team Championships. Remember, Fire and Adrenaline, they had won it during the tournament, but also remember they weren't able to celebrate that long because they got attacked by Malaya Hasaka and 2 other mysterious girls, and they pretty much are dubbing themselves the Exiles. So again, here we are, we're doing this championship match for the tag titles. Closing moments of this matchup, we saw Fire make a hot tag to Adrenaline, and Adrenaline, for all intents and purposes, you're going, okay, well, this is pretty much lights out. Adrenaline should pretty much, this should be money in the bank. This should be a retain for the champions. But then all of a sudden, I mean, as soon as Adrenaline got tagged in, Malaya Hasaka and the other two girls, all of them, the Exiles, they just appeared from out of nowhere. They're beating the crap out of Adrenaline. Then they bring the fight over to Fire. I remember Fire did a spot where she did a dive in between the ropes, crashing into him, and or something along those lines. But I know she was in on the action as well. You're looking at the Psycho Sisters, and at this point, the Psycho Sisters, they're looking at everything that's going on in the ring. And I found it kind of funny, too, because as all the chaos was going on between Fire and Adrenaline and the Exiles, I was going, okay, so did the Psycho Sisters just magically disappear? Well, what the hell's going on here? Well, no, they actually all got together, and they're in the middle of the ring just watching everything that's going on. Nah, there was some ass beatings coming for them as well. And that came in the form of Princess Aussie, Holodead, and the Voodoo Doll Siren. They got in there and they were beating up on the Psycho Sisters. You just had a house of chaos, yo. I mean, who blew down this house of cards? I mean, seriously, it was just pandemonium, just all over the place. I can't wait to see how all of this is going to get straightened up here. Particularly what is the true agenda here for Malaya Hasaka and the other two girls, the Exiles. What is it? Why are they, for particularly Malaya Hasaka, because she's a WoW veteran and all that. What brings her back? What is it this go round? These Exiles, okay, obviously we know the definition of Exiles and everything, so just how did these individuals get to this point where they feel as though they're exiles, basically, right? So there's a whole lot of layers that just has to continue to unravel here. But also at the same time, I like the emphasis that we're putting on the WoW Women's Tag Team Division. We're getting it off and hot on all cylinders here, showing all these multiple tag teams that are trying to jockey for a position and laying claim to being right. So I like all of that we have going on there. And I tell you what, if Malaya Hasaka is really in this position where she's pretty much the OG that is really trying to get over the two girls that's part of this Exile stable. I mean, yeah, she'll do some wrestling here and there, but it's really about getting the other two girls over. Hey, I'm definitely down for that as well. So there's a whole lot that I think that's here that's gonna nicely unravel during the course of these episodes. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all this plays out, all with that cornerstone, everything being connected, that cornerstone piece being on that women's tag division and everything. Grits and Glam, how I missed Grits and Glam. Of course, I'm talking about my girl's freaking Amber O'Neil. I love me some Amber O'Neil, man. She is a sweetheart. Seriously, she is a sweetheart. And I definitely got to show some love to my girl, Jessie Belle Smothers. I love me some Jessie Belle Smothers, man. She is, oh my God, she is a cutie. She is a cutie. I have such the biggest crush on her. It's not even funny, man. On both of them, but definitely on Jessie, man. I freaking love her. Make wrestling great again. Grits and Glam, though. That's their name. Jessie Jones. Jessie Jones. I feel that my world is complete now that these women are back on my TV again, man, because these were absolutely my personal favorites of WoW here. So we saw an interesting backstage segment with Jessie and Amber. They were trying to go to their locker room, and their locker room has a little name tag, and it looks as though somebody had scratched it off and they wrote in there Beverly Hill Billy or whatever. And Jesse says to Amber, oh, we already know what time it is here. We already know that Lana Starr is behind this. Remember, long time ago, as we saw from previous episodes, Amber O'Neil used to be aligned with Lana Starr and everything. And we saw that Amber O'Neil was on a losing streak there. Some stuff was just, it wasn't clicking. And Lana Starr decided she needed to ditch the dead weight and go with a young upcomer. And she had did that by pairing herself up with, what's her name? The Lioness. And we got an interesting development in regards to the Lioness that I need to bring to you all's attention here, because you all may not be aware of what's been going on with her recently. I think it could definitely have a little bit of a impact as far as when they get ready to do the new season of WoW, because I have a feeling that she's, I don't think we're going to be seeing her. Let me put it to you that way. We'll get to it in a little bit. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. But meanwhile, so Jesse was just telling Amber O'Neil, look, personally, I love the Beverly Hillbillies. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I love watching it in syndication. What a great freaking show it was. Don't trip over Lana Starr. Look, we're doing our thing, and she's doing her thing. You know what? It's her loss. Don't even freaking trip over it. It is what it is. So as Jesse went into the locker room, Amber kind of just sat back a little bit, and she kind of had this look on her face as though she was seriously contemplating whether or not, is this really good? Me doing this whole grits and glam thing, me being paired up with Jesse, is this really where I want to be? Because, man, I just don't know. She looked as though she was a little bit conflicted. Okay. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on with that. But whatever was going on in her head, she wasn't going to be able to marinate on it too long, because they were involved in a tag team match. And that match was against more tag team action. Again, love the tag team action that we're getting here, especially since we can connect this to the women's tag team titles and all that. They went up against Sassy Massey and Chantilly Chella. Not too shabby of a tag match. Jessie Jones, I believe she had, I'm trying to think who she got, because she got somebody in a submission hold from what I remember, and pretty much was able to win that way. I can't remember which girl she had got, so don't quote me, because I really can't remember. But Jessie Jones, Amber O'Neil picking up the dub there. It was good tag team action. It was actually pretty good tag team action. Look, anytime I'm able to see my girls there, I'm happy. All is right in the world. Seriously, all is right in the world, man. Moving on, Lana Starr. Speaking about Lana Starr, managing her up and coming diamond in the rough there in Lioness, Faith the Lioness, went up against Reina Reyes. Remember, not that long ago, she ditched the whole Azteca persona, embracing who she is underneath. I thought the video package, the storyline that they did of her coming from under the mask and helping fans understand why she went under the mask initially and all that. I thought it was very beautiful the way that they went about telling that story and really trying to help flush her out more, get her from under the mask and everything. Really good job in trying to make people connect and give a damn about the character. Something that was a really good trademark calling card of WoW when they would try to help you get invested in characters, really giving you these nice little backstories and everything. Yeah, some of the stories you could say a little bit cheesy, a little bit corny, but you appreciate the fact that, okay, they try to put such fine detail into giving you those connections there, making you give a damn about the characters when it's all said and done. So this is one match here where things got really fucking salty. I gotta tell you guys straight up, because sorry for the language, but it really did get salty here, because at one point Lana Starr tries to slide in a mirror to Faith the Lioness, and Lioness is looking at the mirror and she's going, well, what the hell? No, I'm not trying to win like this. Are you crazy? No, I don't want to win like this. And she actually, gives the mirror right back to Lana Starr, and Lana's pretty pissed off. She's pretty much kind of looking at her and she's shooting off at the mouth like, the hell is wrong with you? You got to do it my way, basically, is how she's barking at her and everything. And man, that moment had cost Lioness big time, because when she tried to focus on Reina Reyes, Reina just came in there, wham, out of nowhere, super kicked her in the face. Did Reina Reyes super kicked the hell out of Faith the Lioness, knocked her out cold, picked up the 3 count. And if I remember correctly, I have to rely on you guys, but if I remember correctly, Lana Starr roughed up Lioness when Lioness did not want to go take the mirror. If I remember, she roughed her up. I think she kind of slapped her around a little bit, if I remember correctly. I'll rely on you guys. But post-match, after Reina Reyes had picked up the victory and everything, Lana Starr pretty much came from behind and pretty much cold-clocked Reina Reyes over the head with the mirror, knocking her out cold. And Lana Starr, she just couldn't believe what the hell was playing out before her very eyes, and she's questioning Lana Starr, what are you doing? What's going on here? And man, you talk about adding more insult to injury. Lana Starr takes Reina Reyes's little Aztec headdress, the culture, everything that it represents as far as Reina Reyes' people, where she's from and everything, her familia, all of that. Just that headdress means so much. It's more than just an attire, okay? It is her culture, it's her livelihood. And she just destroyed the hell out of it and was just leaving it and just significant debris all around the ring, all on Reina. Lana Starr is looking on. She's in disbelief. She's in distraught, and she's actually trying to stay with Reina. And Lana's not having any of it. She grabs Lioness by the hand and drags her to the back. And good job on the color commentators doubling down on that, homing in on the fact that Lioness is looking very confused here, not really sure, how to feel in this instance here. It's obvious she cares about what's going on, and obviously she's kind of realizing here this path maybe is not so cool after all that she's on here with Lana Starr. So I'm very curious to see how this story arc with Lioness is gonna play out over these next several episodes, because, and I kind of teased this earlier, Faith the Lioness, who is now going by the ring name Nikita Lyons, you all may not know this. I'd like to keep tabs. So she had got signed to a WWE developmental deal. Apparently, you guys gotta bear with me because I'm trying to read a little bit more about how it all came about. But she had attended last year's SummerSlam, and somehow by appearing at SummerSlam, the opportunity for her to go do a performance tryout had came about. And when she did the performance tryout and all that, next thing you know, she was presented with an opportunity to, okay, you can pretty much come in. We want you to, be here full time, basically. And so if you have not been keeping track of WWE programming, particularly 205 Live, she has been doing a couple of matches so far. One of the first matches she did for 205 Live goes back to December 28th of last year. It's a 205 Live episode where she went up against Amari Miller. Right, so look up that episode. And then she did one episode for this new calendar year. Go to 205 Live for January 4th of 2022. She went up against Erica Yan. Okay, look those two matches up. So, kind of keeping that in mind and keeping note of the fact that right now she is under a developmental deal. It's kind of one of those, you see where I'm going? You really can't help but wonder, okay, yeah, just what exactly, how is things going to be tied up here, with her character? Are they going to, see, we got to remember that at the time that they had filmed these episodes, it's definitely, when they filmed these episodes, we're talking definitely about a year and a half plus, at least maybe almost 2 years before Faith the Lioness, got the WWE deal and all that. But I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out, and going into the fall premiere of Wild Women of Wrestling. So pay attention to her story arc. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, if you guys want to try to keep tabs, see what's been going on with her, that's pretty much your best bet right now. Other than that, from what I'm able to see, she's pretty much been relatively quiet. I don't see her doing anything else for any other promotions. Everything is just pretty much WWE right now. I'm trying to actually see if she has a social media page. That way you guys could maybe stay connected, because I know sometimes some of these wrestlers, they're kind of able. I know, well, wait a minute. Looks like she's got Instagram. For those of you that's interested, she does have Instagram. It's Nikita with 2 Ks. _ WWE, and it looks like, bear with me a second here, yeah, she's got the blue check mark. It's officially her, so she's got that. And looks like she, yeah, same thing on Twitter as well, for you Twitter lovers out there. And she's got a website as well for you guys to check out if you all are interested. So I'm glad that WWE, picked up on her and they got her. I see a lot of good, promising things happening for her in her respected career. And she's young too. I don't know if I'm trying to think how young she is. I think if she's not 23, I believe she's 22 years of age. So she's definitely in that ballpark of what WWE is currently looking for, as far as that whole, we need to be able to really develop these guys and gals at a as early as we can get them, as younger the better, basically, right? So, and that's what's going on there. But a pretty good episode, man. Pretty damn good episode. I loved it. I'm looking forward to coming back on these next handful of weeks, covering more of these episodes, man. So buckle up. It is going to be a fantastic ride. And hey, man, if it's your first time here, especially checking out the WoW recaps and all that, welcome. If you made it up to this point, do me a huge favor. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button or a little heart, whatever you got going on there. Shout out to you guys that's going to be checking this out on YouTube. Definitely make sure you smash that like button, because when you do that, you're helping content like this reach a more wider audience on YouTube. So do that, and thanks. Also consider hitting that subscribe button as well, so you don't miss out on future content, right? You hit that subscribe button, that lets me know you enjoy. It definitely helps me keep producing more content like this and much more for you guys. You can get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And until next go round, for your next fix of WoW Women of Wrestling, remember, we're going to be right here every single Wednesday talking about WoW. This was just a nice, now that I kind of got everybody caught up to speed, typically when we do these WoW recaps, we're doing them for about 35 minutes tops. So that's what you can expect as far as the new norm goes, now that we've pretty much really got everybody caught up to speed with this particular episode at the very beginning with the, with the intro and all of that. So FYI, usually 35 minutes. Okay, until next go round, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe, and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will check you guys out next go round. Peace, y'all. Take care.